Hello my dear friends and welcome to my channel. My name is Barbara and today we're going to be looking at the Virgo Midheaven. So this video is for you if you do have this placement. If you're a cross watcher, welcome as well. To understand the Midheaven, we have to look at the IC, which is going to be your fourth house. I do have a video where I already touched on the IC, so if you guys want to learn even more, definitely check that out. And I also have a video where I talk about how to activate the Midheaven, so you guys can check that one out as well if you're interested. So for you guys, you have your IC fourth house in the sign of Pisces. The fourth house deals with how we are in private. It also deals with what kind of home you guys may have grown up in. So for those of you who have the IC fourth house in the sign of Pisces, it could have really gone two ways. Most of the ICs can go two ways, okay? It can go on the light side, it can go on the shadow side. Most of the time, it's the shadows of life, okay? The hard moments, the challenging moments that do bring through catharsis, right? For us to change and transform, which is going to ultimately be the fuel for your public persona, which is going to be the 10th house midheaven. So the light side is going to be all about unconditional love, right? It could have been a home, unconditionally loving, maybe even smothering to the point where it's like, you're just like, I need to get out of here. Like there's too much attention and focus on me. Or in the shadow aspects, there could have been a lot of illusions around the home, okay? There could have been a lot of things you guys didn't see clearly when you were in the home. Maybe you did have that unconditional love from your parents, but then you left and you're like, wait, hold on, this meant this, or, there was this type of trauma going on, or these types of things, or you just did not see things clearly, right? So it's interesting because now this is fueling your midheaven to make sure you see everything clearly, right? Attention to detail. That's kind of where the attention to detail comes from. Also within the home, there could have been substance abuse, okay, of some sort. Pisces does tend to deal with escapism. So there could have been some sort of escapism within the home. Maybe the parents weren't like emotionally mature to have a child and they just escaped the whole time, right? Escapism is on a scale. It could have been working. It could have been substance abuse, these types of things. There could have even been drugs, right, within the home. That's what Pisces does tend to deal with when it's in the shadow. Also, because of all of this, because of like this, like almost like not seeing things clearly, just like overwhelming type of energy, you guys could have spent a lot of time out of body, okay? That's the whole thing with the Piscean energy. You guys are highly, highly psychic when you're in your own home. So even when you guys are in private, you guys can get a lot of downloads when you're at home. You guys can get a lot of psychic insights, these types of things, because you spent a lot of time as a child out of body, okay? Because again, there was something happening in the home where things just weren't clear. There was just some sort of energy when you were growing up in the home where it's like you wanted to leave, right? You wanted to escape. You wanted to go into your imagination yourself, right? Maybe you read a lot, these types of things, right? Maybe you were on your phones a lot. It depends, right? So that's the whole thing with the Piscean IC. And also one more thing that I want to mention is maybe this is the light side, maybe this is the shadow side. I don't know. You guys can take it as it resonates. But also there could have been like artistic type of home, or maybe your parents were trying to be artists or whatever it is, or maybe they weren't artists. But that's the thing. So now when you guys are in your own home, you guys love all these things, right? You romanticize love, you love the romance, you love the arts, you love film, you love makeup, you love, again, it's creating illusions, right? That's kind of what's fueling you guys, and you have such a powerful mind, right? And then on top of that, you guys are super psychic. So it's kind of like whatever you guys see psychically, okay, these visions you have for yourselves, these goals, you're very good at grounding them and very good at manifesting them. That's what's amazing about the Virgo midheaven. All the actual earth sign midheavens operate very well on the earth plane, but specifically Virgo, because Virgo bounced off of Pisces. So Virgo takes the Piscean dreams and visions and goals and all these sorts of things and is like, okay, how are we going to go about this? How are we going to create these dreams into a reality? So you guys are very, very good at creating dreams into a reality. That's the whole thing here with the Virgo midheaven. How it manifests in terms of career, now that's going to be contingent on the rest of your natal chart. It really depends. But the thing is, when you have the Virgo midheaven, not only are you guys all about attention to detail, you guys can be very much perfectionists. It's all about practice makes perfect. And that's really what's rewarded on this earth plane, okay? So you guys are good at practicing, mastering something, mastering a craft, becoming really, really good at something. And then again, achieving these goals that you guys have because you guys have this discipline. You guys have the routine. You guys have, again, you guys are just aware that it's like, okay, for me to get to my goals, I have to practice this, okay? If I, want to be a piano player or a filmmaker or whatever it is, anything in this type of field that's like romantic or even art, you guys are going to constantly practice. You're going to have attention to detail. And that's really part of what makes someone successful, okay? If we really look at it, it's practicing, right? It's constantly working at something and mastering a craft. So like I said, it really depends on the rest of your natal chart, what area of life this is going to manifest in. It can manifest literally anywhere, right? It can literally go on such a huge range. You guys can be really good in the corporate world. You guys can be really good accountants. You guys, because it also deals with the mind. It also deals with intellect. So you guys need to constantly be stimulated. But the good thing is, it's like, because Virgo is ruled by Mercury and Gemini is ruled by Mercury, Gemini is kind of like scattered, right? Energetically. Virgo is very much like, okay, let's get shit done, right? Like that's the whole thing here. You guys are very much like, okay, how are we going to get this stuff done? How are we going to create a plan? Let's go about it. Let's become like, very redundant. Okay. So the thing is also, because this is the healing axis, Pisces, Virgo, the ultimate end goal for you guys, because you guys do have that Piscean inner spirit, right? That's kind of how you guys are at home. You guys want to help people. You guys want to heal people. You guys want to be of service in one way, shape, or form. Okay. That's the thing. So if you guys are doing something where you can be of service, this is really what's going to, again, make that 10th house midheaven feel happy, right? As long as you guys are being of service in one way, shape, or form. Something important to keep in mind, every sign has a light side, shadow side, as I mentioned. So with Virgo, you guys want to make sure that you guys are filling your own cup first before you guys go off and help others, because there is a chance of getting burnt out. And again, you never want to go into too much of the extreme, right? You don't want to go into too much of like the, just focus on work and you're not having the time to be at home and the time to get the downloads and the time to get the ideas and the time to get the visions, right? Because sometimes when you're in such a strict routine, you don't allow the energy to flow, right? You need to sometimes switch it up to get a new idea, to get a new inspiration. So you don't want to get too rigid. You don't want to get too strict in terms of like, okay, every week is the same. I'm doing all these things. And sometimes that could fall into even, becoming boring for you, right? Because again, you still need to be intellectually stimulated. That's something important to keep in mind. So being able to switch up the vibes. And then you also don't want to fall too much in the Piscean 4th house, right? So it's like when you guys are home, it's kind of like maybe you guys have been working towards something and it hasn't been panning out the way you want. You guys might fall into the shadow of Pisces and then go through escapism through the mind and just like visualizing and just like imagining things and all these sorts of things, right? But overall, what I will say is Virgo is very good, again, at discipline, practicing, just like trying to get to those goals that they have. And they're very good at manifesting because of the fact that they do bounce off of Pisces. That's the thing. I almost want to say that Virgo placements are the master manifestors on this earth plane, because they do have the benefit of bouncing off of Pisces and the Piscean dreams. Pisces tends to get lost. They tend to get lost in the illusions and the delusions and like the brain fog energy, right? That really does tend to happen with Pisces, and they absorb a lot of energy, these types of things. Like they're very much feeling based, right? It's water. That's the thing to understand. Virgo is very much like, we're in the earth plane. Let's get this stuff done. Okay, what am I going to do? Okay, how can I create this plan? A good thing also with the Virgo midheaven is that it's a mutable sign. So you guys are going to be very likable. That's the thing with all of the mutable signs. They're very likable because they're very adaptable to their environment. So even though you guys, a lot of the time Virgos get the rap that it's like you guys are just like, super attention to detail. You can be highly critical, which you can, right? But I find that Virgo is just mostly highly critical of themselves, more so than the rest of the world. That's just what I've noticed, right? It might come off like they're highly critical of the rest of the world, but really they have that intense critic because again, Pisces is pulling them to manifest, right? To create, to have this like vision, right? Come true. These dreams come true. So that's the whole thing to understand. You guys are very, very good at, again, bringing those dreams, anchoring them. That's the whole thing you guys are really doing. You guys are able to anchor. If you want to know how to activate the 10th house, check out my video where I talk about the 9th house, okay? Because that's going to help you guys access the 10th house, Virgo midheaven, so you guys can have this dream, right? So you guys have the dream for yourselves and you can achieve it. Anyone can ultimately at the end of the day. One more thing I do also want to mention is that the 10th house also does deal with the public persona and how we are perceived or how we want ourselves to be perceived by the public. So for those of you who do have the Virgo midheaven, you guys really, really want to be perceived as, again, perfect in a way, okay, almost to a detriment, right? You guys don't want to have any flaws. You guys want to make sure everything's perfect. Again, even if you're recording a video like this, it's kind of like you're going to keep recording it until you get it perfect. These types of things, okay? So that's how you want to be perceived to the world, that everything is in its place, everything has this like little area, and that you guys are very much like efficient, okay? Because again, practice makes perfect. So you guys are going to be kind of like the person that everyone calls, right? Because it's like you guys are very, very like aware, no matter what job you guys do, because of the fact that you guys have such high attention to detail, you're going to be good at it, right? So people are always going to call on you. If you're working at a job, people are going to be like, oh my gosh, that person is like the best employee, or that's the person that I'm going to ask, if I need help with something, because they know everything. That's the thing, is it's the mind, it's Mercury, right? But on top of that, you guys like really make a hard effort to be the best in that way, where it's like you're just knowledgeable, you're competent, like you know how to do the job, like things just get done, okay? Things just get done when you have a Virgo around, okay? Especially in terms of the midheaven, because it is your career. So my dear friends, I'm gonna wrap up this video here. I do hope that you did enjoy it. If you did, please do like, share, and subscribe. You guys can also let me know in the comments below as well. And I hope you all have a beautiful rest of the day.